Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today we're going to make a Parisian Cafe Dress. I've started by turning the dress inside out, that way all the seams are on the outside so they're easier for me to manage. I can see where they're at. And then using my yardstick, I put it right up against the center seam so that way I create a nice center fold with no wrinkles. This dress actually has 4 seams in it, so it's quite a bit to contend with. And then I just line up all of the perimeter of the dress and smooth out as many wrinkles as I can. Now I'm drawing on my pattern, and I'm hoping to achieve a downward V. So what would that be? Like a diagonal shape, and I want it to be downwards. I think it's just going to have a nice slimming effect. This dress is a size 2XL, so it's a lot of material, and so that's what I had in mind. I want to make it look nice while it's laying on the body. So I'm making my lines about every 4 inches apart. This is just a magic number that seems to work for me. You don't even have to draw lines on your dress at all. It just helps me during the pleating process. Next, I'm going to pleat along these lines, and you could start anywhere you want. You could start all the way at the top, all the way at the bottom, right in the dead center. I think this is what was just closest to me, so I just picked a line and started pleating. Now, I do have the entire tutorial sped up a little bit. I'm not going to ultra speed through this because these projects take a really long time, and I just don't feel like I'm doing a lot of justice to you guys, the viewers, especially if you're brand new to tie-dyeing. If I just zip right through it, what are you actually learning? I mean, yes, you're gonna see me pleat it up super duper fast. You get the gist of it, but I don't want it to intimidate you. And let me tell you where this is coming from. So I was watching another channel. I don't know if it was Greg's channel or Brad's or where I was, but in the comment section, someone left a comment and said, I like to watch your channel because watching other tie-dyers intimidates me. And I don't want to intimidate anybody. I'm here to try to help you guys learn and just show you my process. And hopefully you guys are able to take bits and pieces from what I do and incorporate it into your style. So please don't ever feel intimidated by watching me. If you have questions, I'm more than willing to try to answer them, or if you need me to slow down or speed up or show something again, you just have to let me know. I'm more than willing to do that. I'm here to help. I'm not here to scare you out of making tie-dye, and I hope everybody feels that way. This is a safe place to learn. I make mistakes all the time. I show all of my mistakes. I'm just a real person creating art, and this is my outlet to share it with all of you, and hopefully in the process teach some of you how to tie-dye. So I was just rambling on there and missed some important things. So I'd say my pleats are about a 3/4 inch tall. They're going to get taller as the dress goes down. So you want to start smaller, because keeping in mind that as you work, if you're going to do one continuous pleat, they grow as more fabric gets involved. I started to secure it by using my second favorite rubber bands, but they were just a little too loose, so I downsized to my tiny baby hair rubber bands. And I do have links down below in the description box for everything that I use for tie-dye, so make sure that you check that out. Now, as I'm getting up here to the top, I start having a little bit of difficulty creating my pleats, keeping in mind that there are 4 seams on this dress, plus all the seams that go around the neck and the underarm. It's just a lot of extra bulky fabric, so just continue to work on it. So what I'm using now is a tool that I got from boredomwithjen.com. They're really great. Do you guys remember me opening the box and saying, oh cool, these are nail files? No, they're not nail files. It's a little tool that can get down in between the pleats and help you crease them, or you can go up underneath the fabric and it just sort of helps, it just helps make the pleat. And they come in different sizes. I have 3 different sizes. So I grabbed the one that was closest to the same size as my pleat. And I love them. I don't show them very often because I don't do a lot of pleats. Seems like I'm always making spirals. But I highly recommend this tool. I really do like it. So the natural instinct at this point is to just go ahead and just rush right through, pleating it up, add secondary pleats, whatever, doesn't matter. But no, for this particular project, remember, I'm trying to create an actual V pattern on this dress. So it's very important that I do try my hardest to continue to make sure that all of those lines that I drew on the dress continue to line up as straight as possible. And I don't want to incorporate any secondary pleats, knocking them down and making them shorter pleats. So it's going to be all the way from start to finish, 1 pleat from the very top all the way to the bottom. So it's not hard to do, it's just time consuming, especially with this large amount of fabric. I mean, it's so big, it barely fits on my table. I think this project ultimately ended up being over 30 inches long or right around there. I don't exactly remember, but this might be the longest project that I've made to date. All right, I'm almost done. This one took a little over 30 minutes to pleat from start to finish, and I was able to condense it down to about 9 minutes. So that's not too bad, and I don't think that a lot of content was lost by me speeding it up. Now, just like up at the top of the dress, all the extra seams down here at the bottom are kind of bunching it up. In hindsight, this project might have benefited from using kite string or the polyester string, but I just like to use rubber bands. I just find them to be simple, and I like simple. This picture is the inspiration for my dress, just the color palette, not necessarily the pattern. I screenshotted this picture back in August of 2020, and I'm just now getting around to trying it out myself. It's one of those dropship type companies that comes out of China, so when you order the dress, it probably doesn't even show up looking like that. And that dress is not a handmade tie-dye, that is a print. So mine's going to look different, but again, that was just the inspiration for choosing my colors. So I started with the Magenta Galactica up at the top, and it's one of those thick, dense, sticky powders that wants to just clump up. So I decided that maybe I'll start down at the bottom with the other colors first, and then when I work with the Magenta Galactica, if it wants to roll downhill, I'll have an easier chance of like scooping it off of the other colors should that happen. Well, that was my thought process anyways. We'll see if it works out. Dragon fruit is one of those nice, light, airy, sort of granular type powders. It goes on the project very well. I like to work with it. So let's talk about the setup. So this project is called a Incline icedye, and I'm using the dye under ice method. So DUI when you see it abbreviated in the Facebook group. It's a lot easier to add your dye to a project when it's laying flat, but because of my setup being sort of McDivered, I decided to just add the dye to it while it was on its incline. So I didn't have one gutter that was long enough to accommodate the entire project, so I had to put two of them together, and they're not meant to interlock, so they kept wanting to pop apart, so I used my spring-loaded clamps to hold it down. Better to be safe than sorry. I was having visions of coming back and finding the project where the gutters had popped, sending dye and ice flying everywhere, and I definitely didn't want that to happen. And then just for added support, I put a rack underneath it. Probably not necessary, but like I said, it's just better to be safe than sorry. So I have one end of it all hanging up over the edge of the tote, and then the other is down at the bottom of the tote. And this tote is only about 6 inches tall, so it's not a very drastic incline. Next, I give the project a quick little sprinkle of soda ash for good measure. I want to make sure that the pH of the dress stays up around 10.5 to 11. That way the procion dye can react and bond with the fibers. And you see that foil down there at the bottom of the gutter? That is just a genius idea that I learned from watching Greg over at Goyo's Garden and Tie-Dye. I used to put my dye towel down in there, and then I had something extra that I needed to wash. So the foil, I can just toss it away. But I don't have to fill the entire gutter up with ice, so I can save on ice. It's like a little dam. It allows the water to melt and drip through. That way I don't have to put so much down in there, and I can keep the bottom of the dress out of the muck. Now, it's recommended that you let your project batch at 70 degrees or higher for at least 24 hours. This project ended up batching closer to 4 days for 2 reasons. The first one is I work full time, and so I just couldn't get to it. And then secondly, I ended up letting it go for an extra day because I wanted to wait until I had more than just one project to wash out. I didn't really want to waste all the water and the Curolon. All right, so now for the rinse out process. You want to start by using cold water. That's going to rinse away any soda ash that might still be reacting within the fabric. And after 48 hours, there really is no more chemical reaction happening, but I still go through the motions just in case. And then you want to increase your water up to hot. The hot water is going to remove any unbonded dye so it goes down the drain instead of into the washing machine. And you want to rinse until the water runs pretty much clear. You know, as clear as it can be. Then you want to stick it inside of a garment bag or a linen bag or a washing machine bag, whatever they're called, with this delicate fabric. Because if you tear a hole in your fabric, Dharma Trading Company is not going to help you because it's your fault you ripped a hole in it. So I take it to the washing machine, and I like to do hot water cycles using Curolon. Curolon is a professional textile detergent that I get from Dharma Trading Company. And then I like to do a final hot water cycle using Millsoft. And Millsoft is a professional fabric softener that I also get from Dharma Trading Company. And especially with these rayon items, I feel like the Millsoft really makes the fabric feel luxurious again. And then I let it air dry. And I like to iron it while it's still just barely damp. It just makes it iron up really easily. Well, here it is, guys. Here's Bella wearing the Parisian Cafe dress, and I think it turned out great. Now, is it 100% like the inspiration photo? No, but that was only for inspiration, and I have definitely achieved that. And remember, I was going for the V pattern, and I have also achieved that, so I'm super pleased. Now, the way I photographed this is the front side and then the close-ups and then the back side and the close-ups because it's just way too big on my table. I can't take all of the pictures all at once. I love the color combination. I think it's really pretty. So up at the top, I have more of the true colors, and then down towards the bottom, because of gravity, all the colors have pulled together and it's a lot more red and fiery down at the bottom. So it has kind of like a ombre effect going on, and I really do like that about this dress. So overall, I'm extremely pleased with the way that it turned out. I just love Magenta Galactica. I think it's just so beautiful. And then the deep yellow, it's not a color that I use very much, and I don't know why they call it deep yellow because it's more like light orange. Now this photograph is the underarm, so like the side seam, and just look at how pretty that is. So I think if you put a straw hat and some cute strappy sandals and we're at a festival or at the farmer's market or wherever, people are going to look at this dress and go, wow, that really stands out. It's beautiful. So I hope you guys give this one a try. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. So what do you guys think? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing.